Well, here we are, folks. Round 32 of the 32-game World Scrabble Championship. As you saw from the leaderboard and from the last game, 4 players control their own destiny in 2 winner-take-all games. We opted to show David Eldar versus Wellington Jighere. Both of these players have won a World Championship before. The winner of this game will get a chance to play best of 7 tomorrow to claim a second title. The loser eliminated from contention. The winner of the Adam Logan versus Harshan game will also get a chance, or will also play tomorrow in the championship definitively. So will we have a repeat champion? 3 out of 4 of these guys say yes. Or will we have a new champion? Harshan, the doctor from England, looks to make that the case here. David Eldar, Wellington Jighere, 1 game of Scrabble, the winner to play for a world champion title and cement their legacy. Very few players have won 2 world championships. I can only think of 1, and he's got a big beard. If anybody else has done it, let me know in the chat. But the legacy would grow for one of these men with a victory here and a win in the best of 7 tomorrow.
It looks like David Eldar has left some pens or material somewhere else in the playing room, and he just ran away to go fetch something. And Wellington is taking a moment to compose himself. This is going to be a very nerve-wracking game, and we've seen a few mistakes in the last few rounds, so both players hoping to not make any in this last game.
Yeah, both players, some sloppy play today after some great play previously in the tournament. You have to be thinking, ooh, what if I had that turn back? What if I had that game back? And yet none of that matters. What matters are the 100 tiles in front of you. 1 game, a former world champion across the board. You've got to win here.
Yeah, well, good luck to both of them. I have no rooting interest. I just want a great game of Scrabble.
I'd hate a blowout here. I want this to come down to the last draw.
Yeah.
Eldar will play first, Wellington to counter, as David shakes the tiles in one of the most important games of Scrabble he's played, certainly the most important one so far in this tournament.
He's digging deep into the bag.
Extra, extra, extra random for David. And we are underway here. D, G, T, arm hair, B, M, U. Oh, that U makes it just interesting enough. A 7 consonants and easy exchange here. But instead, we'll have to look at playing options instead. D, U, M, B. The one word that you would play out of this rack. Otherwise, exchanging down makes sense. But dumb, I think, got to be the play here. 18 points is better than none, even though BGT is not the best leave.
Yeah, I think it's just enough points to make it worth playing. It does have some back hooks. That does, or does it? Does that mean just, yeah, the O, right? So Dumbo is a word, but it's just enough points.
The D or the O and the S both back hooks for dumb, but that is it. No Y, as Wellington has one. AEKLRXY, the rack for Wellington. Yex plays alongside with that Y, MY and BE for 40 points. That certainly looks like the play here. Maybe YAK if he wants to hold on to that X, but no, not many options on this board. I think you cash it for 40. What say you, James?
Yeah, I think playing the X and scoring 40 points, that's pretty standard play. And he's playing it quickly.
Wellington feels the same. EFGRTTB, the rack for Eldar to respond. And he can score 14, I guess. DEBT. He can play deft in the same spot for 16, or probably what we'll see is an exchange in this situation.
Yeah, I think exchanging to ERT, that rack is, that's pretty gross, that rack. I mean, you could play deft and keep FGRT, but you know, you could just be in the same position you are on the next turn with with just bad consonants. I think he's going to exchange.
He'll exchange down to ERT. I think a definite decision there, or definitely the right decision there. AKLOORT now the rack for Wellington, who looks to build on this lead. He'll have some scoring options, but not many good ones. Perhaps Dumbo and Locks. That'd be a good way to keep this board rather tight. We may see Dork from the D as well, but I don't see any other options that look like good plays here.
Could play Drook from the D, DROOK. That's one option. Or Duke, just keep the R with LART. So there's a couple of
okay, yeah, DROOK, maybe one of those.
I mean, you're leaving an O above a premium square, which is a little unfortunate, but I mean, it's an option. Locks is interesting. 21 points in keeping Korat or Troke as the leave. That's an interesting play.
Locks a play I'd love to make in NWL, but the F front hook in CSW makes it less defensive for sure. Probably Duke or Drook the play here, but I don't know, playing off both of those O's and then stringing the K out there, asking to be overlapped is tough.
Yeah. He has got LO separated from the other tiles. Meanwhile, David has a simple bingo.
He's drawn into a double-double through the D.
Oh, yeah. So he's playing Locks.
Locks, a nice defensive play, unless your opponent double-doubles through the D, but that's exactly what's going to happen here. Wellington has not hit the clock yet. Maybe looking to get a read from David here.
Well, we've seen him do this before. He just plays it and then has a little extra think about, is it really what he wants to do? And in fact, it's not what he wants to do.
Oh. So he's changed his mind. Still has not hit his clock. Dork over Duke, a little surprising, but holding that O for the overlaps, perhaps what he's thinking to do here. And now he has hit the clock. He's blocked the double-double.
He'll still bingo, though.
Yeah, Snurdle to come down now, or Linters. Linters alongside BEL and XI looks to be the highest scoring option. That'll be 75, but the double-double crucially not coming down. And Wellington, he's showing those tiles to us on main cam before he's dropping them on his rack. AFGHLOT, the rack for him. He'll have good scoring options here. Froth playing through the R and Linters is 30. The nice Oflag, OFLAG, and OK on top of Dork, a good way to get out of this rack as well, though it does open the board quite a bit. Flotage, also an option, FLOTAGE. Do you like any of these options more than the others, James?
I like Froth, and that's seems very intuitive. LAG, not great, but not horrendous.
Yeah, I hate the G, but not enough to play Oflag and get hit by big plays back on that triple. I think this is the right play here for Wellington.
Yeah, I say O flag because it helps you remember that O is a front hook to flag.
I think it's a German word. Oh my goodness, VVM so far.
Well, the A and the E will help.
Okay, AEGMNVV now for David, who will have a nice overlap on top of Froth. Vina, VEENA, plays for 35. VMG, not a good leave, but that's a great score for him. He could also consider Vatmen, VATMEN, through the T in Linters, or he could make the fun play Vegas to the S in Linters, given that's where this tournament is held. Not actually a good candidate play, but fun. Maybe exchange the V's? I don't think so.
You've got 35 points that you can score. I don't think exchanging at this point in the game is on the cards. I like Vatmen or Vina. He's seen Vina. So that's a lot of points to score, 35. It makes it a little harder to hit that S as well. Well, I guess a T could still go in front of EF after EF, EFT. But Vina seems a very solid play. Takes out that T as well in Linters.
Yeah, Vina, good and defensive, high scoring. The leave, not great, but maybe you get bailed out by the tile bag. I think a play David needs to make, and he'll probably feel the same as he's grabbed those tiles and about to put it down. Wellington, in the same situation we saw him in previously now, AADEGLR, and he had these bingo-ish racks in that game against Adam Logan. He'd play small, play 2 or 3 tiles at a time, miss his bingo, and then try again and miss his bingo yet again. I do wonder the standard play here looks to be playing off AG somewhere, GAMY perhaps an option, BELGA maybe to open the board up a smidge. But will you get caught up fishing? Will you put your fate in the hands of the tile bag here? Or will you perhaps try to play a little bit longer?
God, there's just so many very difficult options here, aren't there? I guess I see gamey, GAMY, gamey, if you're just really focusing on LADER as a leave. But I don't see how he can score that many more points anywhere else.
Yeah, no good scoring options here. Aged and KA, a good way to score some points out of this rack. That's what Wellington has set up now. That'll be 16. AELR, not a great leave, but both blanks unseen. A big S or Y hook behind Froth. A big S or Y hook behind Dork right now. I'd rather go digging into the bag a little bit more as opposed to playing 2 tiles with a play like Gamey.
Yeah, that Y is a big tell for David. He's going to find some scoring spots in different places with that Y.
Yeah, he has pulled the Y. That's going to be beneficial to him. GYM going to be a strong option for him next turn, as well as a few other words he'll be able to spell.
So, yeah, Wellington's going to take his time here.
As he should. Tough turn.
He must feel like he's just banging his head against the wall these last couple of games on the stream.
Yeah, I think Gamey and Aged, the 2 serious contenders on this turn. Will you play off 4 tiles and score 16, or will you try to hold bingo-prone letters on a board that is not friendly to bingos? I don't like getting caught out fishing on a board shaped like this without an S in tow, but
yeah,
Aged for 16, that just feels awful.
I mean, he's 40 points behind. He's just seen his opponent play an A and an E, and that might mean that he has some decent tiles. You fish and you miss, and then you're going to be down a lot of points on your next turn.
Tough turn for Wellington. Big decision. GAMY will look like a great play if he draws a bingo, and a terrible one if he doesn't.
I mean, we've talked about all of these plays, but I'm not really seeing the one that I would pull the trigger on.
It's likely one of the 2. Doesn't seem to be anything else good to do here, and Aged going to be the option for Wellington. We'll see if the extra 2 tiles of turnover yield an S or a blank for him.
Yeah, he's taking the most points he can find. We get another shot of David's arm.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Wellington to make the final for no other reason than I'll actually get to see the players' racks a little bit more. Nothing personal, David. GYVE, GYM, both good plays for David to cash the Y and hit that frothy spot. GYVE 37, GYM 33. I think you played Jim here. Do you agree?
Jim is a pretty safe play. The G's not that easy to score well in the last column. Knave is a very nice leave as well. That does have a lot of merit to it. I've seen mangy through the E of aged, but I don't think that the EV, and it's less, fewer points than Jim. I think Jim's got the most merits.
If I do want to play through the E and aged, I'm playing Geneva or a similar word here, maybe Ganev. I want to hold on to the Y. It's very powerful with the frothy spot available. So if I'm looking to score elsewhere, hold the Y.
Geneva would set up the A right next to that double letter score to the triple, though.
It's likely Ganev the play, but I think either GYVE or GYM here. GYVE, a much better equity play. Getting rid of that V, also nice, and it scores better. But you could give up some easy points back.
Yeah, I think Jim, and David had that lined up. I think he's just thinking, is there something even better? But 33 points. Looks like David's pen broke or something. He needs another pen.
What an omen. And Wellington hands him one right away.
Yeah, we're back in the game. It's interesting. Well, we're really just seeing David's forearm again, but he's clearly writing some things down, perhaps making some notes about hooks or scores of different players. And meanwhile, Wellington pulled the blank, and his play of aged has paid off.
Yeah, the gambit working out well for him. The longer play going to help him out. He'll have multiple bingos. He'll have tradeful or adultery through the E. Also, a 10-letter bingo from the G through the AT for right now. That's likely to get blocked no matter. Well, maybe not.
Gradulate, is that a word?
Gradulated, yeah. Gratulated. Gratulated. 10-letter bingo.
Okay, I would never see that in a million years.
I think there's one man on the planet who will, and he's not playing in this tournament right now.
Well, we have another person who has a chance to look for it.
Gratulated for 64, but the normal bingos, adultery or tradeful, look like better options. Tradeful, a bit dangerous as it slots the U, one space after the double letter word that'll extend to the, or double letter score that'll extend to the triple word score. Adultery, dangerous because it opens up a triple line and a high scoring opportunity itself. Pre-adult, one other bingo playing through that E is only 60, does not extend to the double word. So what will we see? Tradeful, slotting the U dangerously with an unseen Q. Adultery, I doubt it. Gratulated would be awesome, but tough to spot for sure.
Yeah, it looks like whichever, I mean, I'm discounting there's also pre-adult.
Right, that's only 60. The other bingo is 68.
Yeah, but with the other two, he's either going to get hit with Zaf or Zurf. So, well, he doesn't know this, but obviously he's putting vowels in dangerous positions with the other two bingos. Is it worth the 8-point sacrifice to be that little bit more cagey with pre-adult?
No.
No, probably not. Which one would you play?
Gratulated if I saw it. Tradeful if I didn't.
Yeah, I think tradeful is the one.
Here it comes. The 68-point bingo to put Wellington ahead by 7, 172 to 165. David with a rack of 6 consonants, but that crucial Z tile as well is going to help him score well. Z, U, R, F to play through that U for 78, and the bingo negated with an even higher scoring play from David.
Yeah, and it looks like there's maybe a little hold here, but if he accepts, well, or challenges and it stays on, I expect to see Zurf immediately.
Still on hold is Wellington. He'll look to draw provisional tiles. David scratching his jaw, perhaps, trying to figure out what this word is, but Zurf to put him handily ahead again.
It's a nice find by Wellington. It's obviously not a word in common parlance, and you could be thinking why would this word exist? Why would you be full of trade?
And yet these tiles, so high probability, so likely to be drawn, ADELRT. So David, not going to challenge the play, is going to drop Zurf down instead, will not offer the nickel to Wellington, and will instead score 78 points. Eldar now leads 243 to 172.
Yeah, so he's a bingo, a good scoring bingo ahead. This is an important post-bingo draw for Wellington, as most post-bingo draws are, but particularly this one. Meanwhile, David's got his tiles too, and Wellington has not yet turned his over.
Perhaps trying to regain his composure. He can't feel happy about that, but he has to understand adultery also gives back Zarf. You can't be upset about this. It just happened.
David has a bingo to the T. Ailment.
Wow.
So, well, we'll see. Who knows? Well, it's gonna be all on Wellington's pick here. I think he's just taking a moment. He's just tracking, I believe, making sure he's tracked correctly.
Aenoorr, the pull for Wellington. Not what
Yeah.
he was looking for.
No, that's tough.
He's playing quickly.
David will still bingo though. This is very quick to play this move.
Looking to open this board wide open, Ornator. A rather aggressive play here, but opening multiple spots. I think if I'm going to play this, I prefer Orator, Orator, retain the E here, but Ornator the play.
I'm very surprised how quickly he played that, and he's going to get hit with Mineable.
Yeah, wow. So big swing. David in comfortable control of this game. Mineable is 96, puts David ahead 339 to 190. This one getting out of hand quickly.
Yeah, Wellington probably needs back-to-back bingos, but this is... I'm not going to call it though, man, because we've seen comebacks before.
And Wellington has done a fantastic job all tournament of keeping himself in games that we felt like, we're quickly getting out of hand. So we'll see if he's able to pull another crafty gambit here, but this is going to be a huge deficit to overcome. And this draw not going to help him. AACEOOP. Tough break for Wellington.
He played Ornator so quickly. He looked at his tiles and presumably, like, for the reasons you gave, he wanted to open the board. He felt the board was too closed. He was too far behind.
Perhaps he feels he needs that second blank to get back in to catch up. Perhaps he's just trying to get over to the left side of this board before things shut down. But that felt very aggressive to me. You've got plays, Dumbo plays, perhaps, Toxin or something like that to open the board back up if you need to. You played off that E here. I don't know. It felt
I mean, he could have played Roomy, Roomy, keeping Rane, a bingo prone leave. That would have opened the board.
Toro playing from the T in Linters looked like a reasonable play as well. I can't believe he's played that so quickly.
Yeah,
Maybe in his own head right now.
He's played a Rekka. That scores 30 points. That's good scoring.
Still down 119, and Eldar now to play. Eliminable is a wonderful extension that David currently has from Mineable. ELI Mineable is 42 points. How awesome is that? Yet that's so hard to spot. I imagine WIEL going to get played through the E at the bottom of the board. And there it is.
I don't, there's no shame in missing that 10-letter word.
What a huge mistake from David Eldar. Inexcusable. Wellington does have a nice play to score. POOJA plays above Dork to the A in Tradeful for 41 points, but that's so tough to spot. A play like Mojo feels so reasonable here from the M to open this board, but Wellington has spotted it right away. Incredible board vision. Throws it down instantly. Bam. 41.
Great board vision during so many of his games. He sees things very, very quickly. But he had to be sitting there with 4 O's and just thinking that this is not the time to be down 150 and have 4 O's on my rack.
AEEHIQT. The Q could be a little bit of trouble for David, but he'll have opportunities to dump it if he chooses to. QAT and QI is 23 points at the bottom right side of this board. QI and GI, I suppose, also an option, but you're just going to score the points here with the Q, I imagine.
Yeah, well, Wellington is in the game. He's drawn the blank, and David, has got to be thinking about not letting Wellington back into this.
Let's just play the unseen pool here to see what kind of life. Wellington likely needs 2 bingos to get back in. That blank could help him with 1, and these tiles in the pool could maybe help him with another, but 5 I's and 2 U's still remain. That's going to be dicey for Wellington. He'll have to miss all of that and have another great pull.
Looks like David is just thinking about QI, probably above AT. He's also got Fiq, F-I-Q-H, from the F. It's not the best leave. There's an awful lot of I's out there. Is there anything he could do to pay attention to under 8s beginning with M? Or I don't think that's too dangerous. Probably doesn't need to worry about that.
HAE or HIE could play up there, HEAT, HAET, but I think you've got to shed the Q. You don't want to get caught up with it in this situation.
Yeah, Fiq is 19 and QI 23. QI seems pretty stable here. You've got a very nice lead. Nice lead. The lead is not that nice, but you've got a nice lead, and you're just moving on with the game.
So QI the play, 23 points for David Eldar, puts him ahead 395 to 261. AGOOST blank is not going to bingo here for Wellington. Time is definitely ticking for him. He needs a bingo next turn and an incredible post-bingo draw to have a chance.
It's not really with these tiles. He's not really going to score very many points either, and that's the other thing he has to do. He not only needs to bingo, he needs to be scoring every turn. I don't see a way of scoring too many points.
No, not many scoring options at all. He can plunk the J behind OR and in front of aged, making gauged and org for 20 points, but AOOST blank doesn't seem to bingo too often. Though if I'm Wellington, I need to extend this game. If I play several tiles off right now, it perhaps costs me a turn in the future where I try to draw that bingo.
What about maybe doing a play where you go maybe like goats, GOATS at the bottom, just open that bottom lane. But I mean, David's just going to block it, isn't he? But
with 5 unseen eyes, GI certainly to come down, slam the door shut on this one. With a different distribution, perhaps that's a play you could make. A good thought, but one you can't do here.
Yeah, it's shut down immediately. It doesn't really. There's no chance of that working. Maybe you just do drop that G. Score as many points as you can. Keep the game a bit slower. And hope for a. I mean, what one tile draw would work on this board?
Yeah, the I certainly where my eye goes first, pun not intended, as there are so many of those unseen, and that's going to miss on this board. The E would hit MATOOKES or Mystoso, 2 options that could come down after an E pull. So maybe fishing a G okay, but David is very likely to start shutting down the board if I do something like that. I'd look maybe for a Dumbo play if I'm able to find a play down there to open this board, but I don't think he's got one without burning the blank in this instance.
No, but that isn't an option for another turn. But I think just slowing it down and hoping to not get to the end of the game as quickly. Trying to think of some other bingos he may hit with a 1 tile draw after playing the G.
I wonder if there's something that could play at the bottom. C boots would play at the bottom, making EFT if he fishes the G and draws an E.
Another N could give him nanobots.
An N would hit as well. Yeah, there are certain tiles that would hit after the G fish. Maybe that's the way you look to go here. Keep the game long. Try to have a miracle draw next turn in an ugly pool.
Yeah, it's not an intuitive play, though, is it? Just dropping a G at this point in the game.
No, I wouldn't be surprised to see a word like maggot come down, MAGOT, from the M, just to create multiple lines on different sides of the board.
Yeah.
But I feel like after maggot, if David hits me with one of those 5 I's, TI taking no front hook, and this game gets slammed shut again quickly. The more I look at this position, the more I think plunk the G.
Yeah, I think it's hard to get yourself to that point in your thought process, but maybe that's all. Maybe that's the best option.
It's wild. He spends so much time on this turn. Ornator, such a pivotal moment in this game. I still can't believe how quickly that came down from Wellington.
Especially as he didn't look at his tiles, did he, until very late in that turn. And, you know, again, that was a difficult turn. There were, you know, you and I didn't really have time to look for plays that we would have made. So it wasn't as if, you know, he missed an obvious play. But that was a big turn.
Look, if there's some way perhaps to make a setup for my S that I'm able to hit big, but the way the board is shaped right now, that just seems so hard to do.
He's going to have a little count of the bags, not the bags in the tiles, but the tiles in the bag.
The longer I look, the less I see. The less I see, the more I feel like I've got to plunk the G here in front of aged.
Yeah, I mean, there are other things that could. Is he going to play Ugami? No.
I think he's going to play Toga and open a triple line here.
Okay.
We've seen him do this before and draw the 176-point triple eye drops. It did get blocked. We know this one to be blocked here too, but you have to try to create some life and some opportunity. Here looks to be Maggot. I'd expect the TI play to come down after this, but somehow, incredibly, David doesn't have any of those 5 unseen eyes.
I mean, it does set up that very enticing double lane. I mean, but David will address this with some play, I think, quite straightforwardly.
Yeah, Wellington certainly at a huge disadvantage in this game. Lamenting the decision.
Yeah, it's just a really, really bad situation he's in right now.
So likely a quick block from David. HUE playing beneath Toga, EH or UH or something like that, playing above Toga. Many options. As long as you take away the triple, I think anything you do here is reasonable. I would be concerned certainly about drawing additional eyes and additional vowels. So I'm drawn more to HUE.
Yeah, that looks right. You know, and you know, credit to Wellington, he did think that one through, but David's just going to control this board from here on out. Pretty much every time Wellington looks to do something, David will be able to respond.
Wellington's had a nice pull, DEOSSP blank. Is going to be great for him, but that triple to get taken away, and he didn't even draw one. Topsides, his highest scoring bingo in that spot. He will also have gossiped from the G if David elects to play UH or EH instead.
Also, if he does play Hugh as he's lined up, obviously there's a D back hook to Hugh, Hued.
Yeah, so despots or something to come down there.
Yeah, there'll be D bingos.
This pool's so dangerous, though. In the post bingo draw for Wellington, he would need a miracle. He'll need David after this play to draw something like III or IIW, and he'll need to pull that last S and some other great stuff.
Yeah, that's basically the scenario that Wellington needs.
So HUE the play, and Wellington now looks to respond. He is trailing by nearly 150. Bingo's play include dispose, deposes, despots, spados, speedos, spoused in that spot, making Hued or Hughes. DOPS also plays beneath this for 42 points, opening a big line to bingo down from a D, but that slams the other side of this board shut. I think you've got to play a bingo, pray for a miracle here, and it's not going to be in the cards as David has a very nice rack on the other side, given what's in that pool.
He did just draw, no, TIU. Okay, he drew TIU, not IIU. So that's probably just sufficient enough for David.
David even able to bingo if he gets a floating eye.
which I don't think he's going to get.
No, he will not.
Wellington, there's a chance Wellington draws into a second bingo.
The unseen pool after Wellington to play this, and we'll see David's rack left in the bag. CEIIIINOSW.
That's a lot of eyes to dodge.
It is. But if he leaves IIW in the bag, he could perhaps draw Eosinic or Niçoise out of the bag.
I mean, on this board too, the T's that David has drawn are useful. That they would be tiles that Wellington would want to draw after this next bingo because he could play it underneath EF. But he's not going to get those tiles.
Right, none of the T's still in the bag for Wellington to draw. One potential bingo Wellington could pull after bingoing here. That would be the CEIINOS rack.
Haven't actually seen him line up a 7 yet.
Oh, he set up Dispose a while ago.
Did okay. So he's just seeing what might give him the best chances of going back to back.
Here we go. He will bingo Wellington with the second blank in this game, and he'll use it for another high-scoring word. I believe this is going to be Dispose. He's looking for the option that allows the most opportunity for him to maybe get a second bingo down.
Well, this is going to be an interesting draw.
Absolutely. Wellington's draw will leave 3 in the bag. If he draws exactly CEIINOS, there could be life for him, but the W or a triplicate I, and he's done.
I think the chances of drawing that exact rack are quite small.
There's a W. This one's done. David Eldar will play in the best of 7 finals tomorrow.
It's a very cute play as well.
Yeah, it leaves 1 in the bag, scores 27 points, does exactly what he's looking to do, and Wellington has missed everything good and drawn everything bad out of that rack. CEIIINW. He's done.
You have to feel for Wellington. You know, he was at the top of the standings for so long, and he just got caught in the last few rounds.
Wellington leading nearly the entire time, but Wellington and Will sitting atop the standings nearly the entire tournament, and neither one now will make the final. It's not about how you start in these tournaments. It's about how you finish. And we've seen Wellington time and time again draw nothing out of the bag. You see he reaches his hand across. He knows he's been beaten, shakes the hand of David Eldar, congratulates him. Good sportsmanship.
Yeah, that's nice to see. Obviously, it's incredibly sad for Wellington. But on that, and congrats to David. He's put on a great run to get to this point.
So David Eldar from Australia will be one of the 2 finalists here at the World Scrabble Championship. The other will either be Harshan of the UK or Adam Logan of Canada, depending on the outcome of that game.
I mean, David has so many plays he could make here.
Point spread matters for Wellington as he will finish somewhere between 3rd and 5th, depending on how the games around him finish up. Point spread no longer a factor for David Eldar as Harshan would have half a win more than him. Adam Logan would need to win by well over 300 points to surpass him for the pivotal I get to play first opportunity tomorrow. Andrew Fisher has defeated Charles Tachi Menson of Ghana, meaning Andrew Fisher likely to finish in the top 5 of the overall standings in this tournament, perhaps a finish at 6th, depending on the games above him. And Charles from Ghana knocked down. He's currently in 8th and may slip just a smidge further, depending on the games behind him. But a great showing for Charles in this tournament as well.
David has, I believe, got one out of Tati, or I believe that's how you say it, Tatie, down from the E. He's left himself that out, so maybe Wellington's best player is to block that. But at this point, I don't blame him if he's not looking too hard. And he's still playing it out.
Spread will matter for Wellington. Got to stay calm. Got to do your best here.
I mean, this is a great showing by David Eldar, though. He was in the first day or two, I think, not too low down the standings, but it was some way back of the leaders. And he's going to get a chance to get another world championship.
We have a teased result from you in the game between Harshan and Adam Logan. Harshan currently leading by 135 points.
Wow. That's going to be a rematch of the one of the David's previous finals. The one
Harshan looking to exact revenge the year Dave Eldar won in 2017.
And looks like he's found his outplay.
And he'll make it. We'll cut to overhead mic to see if we get any sort of commentary here.
481.
Yeah.
386.
Yeah.
Bad luck, dude.
Nothing to be said. No words. I got lucky from David Eldar. A sigh from Wellington as he knows his run has ended. An incredible showing from him, led the tournament for the majority of the run, and yet not going to qualify for the finals. You got to feel for the guy. Great showing from Wellington, though. David Eldar will be playing in our best of 7 finals tomorrow. His likely opponent to be Harshan, unless either we had an error in our score input or Adam Logan can surmount a big deficit and come back to win this game. We will stay on until we've got that best of 7 finals determined for tomorrow. But likely David, who has spent most of his life in Britain, versus Harshan, who is currently residing in Britain, will be our matchup tomorrow.
I wonder if it's possible if we can. Well, David's getting some congratulations there from Andrew Fisher, is Australian.
Tournament director Art Moore coming, giving Wellington a handshake. Nice job. Not the finish you were hoping for, but a great showing nonetheless. I'd like to give a shout out to Art Moore. I'd like to give a shout out to a lot of people as we wrap this tournament up. So many people make big events like this happen. A lot of credit goes to John Chu, president of NASPA, and Art Moore, who has directed not 1, but 2 back-to-back tournaments in Las Vegas. So many people volunteering their time to direct these divisions, particularly Jason Idalski, who has been running around with the rule book, handling strange director calls, handling second opinions on director calls as well, on challenges, a lot of stuff. The team to put the stream together has been incredible as well. Christian sitting behind the screen and Andrew running around making we get all of the matchups we expect, we'd like to have. They have been so good behind the scenes. I know I get the credit for talking, but they've done most of the hard work. I just yell at my computer. I do that all the time at home anyway. Everybody who stepped in to co-host with me across these days, I reached out to everybody with about 3 or 4 days notice as a situation arose and we suddenly had a big vacancy to fly co-pilot with me. So to James, to Charles, to Stefan, everybody else who stepped up across these days, Mina as well, thank you so much for jumping in. And to Josh Sokol, who will join me on mic, I believe, tomorrow, thank you already to him. So many people are required to put together a tournament, and every single one of them deserves a big thank you, a big pat on the back, a standing ovation, round of applause. So thanks to them. And of course, to everybody watching the stream live, thanks to you. To anybody watching after the fact, thanks to you as well. To anybody who is thinking about getting into Scrabble, you're not going to be paired with David Eldar. You're not going to be paired with Wellington. We've got divisions. You'll start at the novice division. That's where I started. Took me 5 years to work my way out. I eventually did. Some players never do, and they're totally fine with that. There's a place for everybody in competitive Scrabble. Come on out and give it a try. Find a local club near you. Find a local tournament near you. Get on out and play some Scrabble with some folks. You will make friends. I guarantee it. James, what would you like to say as we await the final result of the Harshan game?
Well, I think I should thank you, Matt, for doing a marathon of Scrabble commentary. It's been really great. I'm excited for tomorrow. I just get to sit and watch, well, I have to work a bit in the morning, but I get to sit and watch, and it'll be exciting. You've done fantastic. These have been great broadcasts. We've had great games. There's been a lot of drama. And it looks like in the distance, I think I see Adam Logan and Harshan standing up.
Let's cut to that leaderboard. We're going to lose audio for just a moment as we transition over, and we'll wait for that matchup to come in. So Wellington has been defeated. He will drop to 4th. Let's try to zoom out and see how some of the other players have finished as we await the input of the matchup between Harshan and Adam Logan. David Eldar looking to do what only one human has done before, and that is Nigel Richards. He seeks to repeat as world champion. Nigel, the only person so far to have done so. David with a shot tomorrow to make it 2. Adam Logan with a victory here would guarantee we'll see a repeat champion. If Harshan able to hold on and win this matchup, would be fighting for his first world champion title.
Yeah, congrats to Lewis Mackay, 3rd place. That's a tremendous performance. Look at the streak he had in the last day in a little bit. It's a really good performance.
He's defeated Dave Wiegand. Wow, 22-10. He'll finish 3rd. Incredible.
Andrew Fisher, another great performance. Wait to see the result of Adam versus Harshan, but he's looks like he's in 5th place. It's really tough to win at Scrabble against all of these players. It's very, very hard to be at the top of these standings, and some great performances.
I'll see Josh Sokol has promised to do commentary with me tomorrow, but I would love to get some of these brilliant minds on again. You've seen my deficits. I don't know a lot of the CSW. I've got to run it all through Quackle, but if one of these gentlemen or women who missed the final matchup is willing to jump on and do commentary, that would be incredible. Of course, have to feel rather defeated, some of them, after being close and not quite making it, but perhaps we can get Will Anderson to provide his input. Wellington, Dave Wiegand, Conrad Bassett-Bouchard, any of them would provide excellent commentary as well. So Josh Sokol at least on the headset, and maybe we'll get some more guest stars coming on with us. Harshan, it looks like down to 46 seconds on his clock, according to a player in the room right now. So maybe we'll get more input there. But we await who will play David Eldar tomorrow in a best of 7.
I saw Eldar getting a few hugs and fist bumps from some of the other players. Both players have got a lot of support at this tournament, but clearly that everyone's going to be very happy for David. Kind of interested to see what's going on right now. Okay. Here we go.
Adam and Harshan, we've got the cameras on them as we wait for this game to finish. Hard to get a tell from either one of these players right now as to what's going on. Both stoic over the board.
Yeah, if you were just reading body language, I don't think you'd know who is winning and losing here. So
it's so hard to tell.
David Eldar looks very disinterested in this game.
Loudly kibitzing about other games going on right now. Invade their personal space, make some noise, right? Guys, step away. A world champion is at stake.
Well, maybe he realizes that this game is probably done. Yeah, the bag is empty. Hats off to whoever's managing to get this footage. And Harshan is going out.
We'll cut now. This camera also has a microphone. We'll see if we can catch any banter here. Seems Adam pointing to his opponent like he got it when people asking, shaking his head no. We're not able to get audio right now. Adam getting a hug.
Josh Sokol.
A handshake.
Yeah, and a handshake. Congrats to Harshan.
I think that's what's happened, yeah.
Well, it's a repeat, Matt, of the 2017 World Final.
Indeed it is. Harshan looking to exact some revenge on David Eldar for taking the elusive world championship from him 6 years ago. David Eldar looking to be the second human ever to repeat as world champion in this game. It will be intense. It will be up to 7 games of Scrabble, at least 4 games of Scrabble tomorrow between these two gentlemen to see who will be crowned our champion and win a big cash purse as well. Tomorrow games will begin at 10 o'clock Pacific time. That is an hour later than we've been starting previously. So I get to sleep in just a smidge. You get to sleep in just a smidge. 10 o'clock Pacific time, 10 a.m. That'd be 1 p.m. Eastern time. Harshan and David Eldar to compete for a world championship tomorrow. I know each and every one of you is going to tune in. Again, stepping on the soapbox. Every one of you share this link around. I want viewership for this best of 7 world championship to be through the roof.
Congrats to Will as well. Looks like he's got back into 7th place after a horrible run earlier today. He's managed to win 2 of the last 3.
Will and Wellington leading nearly the entire time. They will finish 4th and 7th in this tournament.
And Kevin Fraley in 10th is a more than 300-point rating boost.
And Kevin, another player who played NWL last weekend and nearly made it into the finals in that lexicon.
And there we go.
So Harshan winning his game over Adam Logan by 141 points, throwing down an emphatic 526 score. Harshan will get to play first in game 1 tomorrow, and David Eldar will respond. That will be our matchup. For right now, we're going to end our coverage for today. Once again, I am Matt Canik, bringing you the 2023 World Scrabble Championship from Las Vegas, Nevada, joined by James Curley, and tomorrow a rock star cast of whoever we can figure out to talk about these games with you on stream. We know we'll see you back here on Twitch tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock p.m. 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and you can convert the time zones from there yourself. Signing off for today is Matt Canik, and we'll see you tomorrow.